I have to be honest. I was really hoping that maybe Massive Studios with Ubisoft's going to bring something different here with the Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. But unfortunately, it's just a Far Cry DLC. It feels like a Far Cry. It plays like a Far Cry. It looks like a Far Cry. It's pretty much the same engine as the Far Cry 6. Um, and it just it feels boring, man. I wish that they stuck with a third person view, where I can see my character in a third person. I wish that they stuck with more cinematic approach. Instead, they made it more open world, loot and craft, loot and craft. Where is the story, Loot and craft, loot and craft, and that's what you do most of the time. Just these mindless, boring open worlds, and they all look the same, and just seems like it seems like a letdown. It's not a bad game. It's just it's not what it could have been. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I'm not doing this video to shit on this game. I'm just simply saying it's a disappointing. I'm just disappointed. I really expected more from James Cameron and this Ubisoft partnered massive studio team. I expected more from the Lightstorm Entertainment. I really expected this to be, more cinematic, but instead it's just Far Cry DLC. This is like let's say Far Cry 6 made a DLC. And that's pretty much what you're playing. You're playing a Far Cry DLC that has Avatar in it. Avatar Pandora World. It's like a Far Cry 6 Pandora DLC. So, a bit of a disappointment, Are we ever going to get a proper Avatar game? I don't know. Maybe one day. But I don't think this is going to do it. I'm sorry, guys. Look how long it took us to get a good, proper RoboCop game, right? So it's not a bad game, but it's nothing that's gonna make you go, "Ooh, wow!" You must have this. This is one of the reasons why I don't get too excited about video games anymore, because you're just setting yourself for disappointment. And luckily, I have a Ubisoft Plus, so I was able to check this out. Now, graphically, it looks great on PC. Don't get me wrong, you're gonna enjoy the graphics in this game. The graphics are good, but they're Far Cry 6 good. It's like playing a Far Cry 6 on a PC. It's just a different setting that's set on Pandora instead of Cuba or Latin America, whatever it was that Far Cry 6 was in. So it's just... I want to say something before I end this video. I wish that Ubisoft would stop following the same formulas that they have done in the past. If you look at the Tom Clancy formula, if you look at the Division, if you look at a Far Cry formula series, they always follow the same formula. And it's getting old, man. It's getting old, guys. It's almost 2024. It's time to move on to something different. It's time to innovate. It's time to create something more innovative. And that's my message to Ubisoft, guys. Come on. Why first-person view? Why not third-person view? If I'm going to play this in VR, in virtual reality, okay, granted, then definitely it warrants a virtual reality headset. But I want to see my character in a third-person mode, man. Why can't we have that? And why can't it be more cinematic story? Why does it have to be just explore and loot, explore and loot? I'm really getting tired of these explore and loot games. Look at the day before. It already failed. And it's an early access and already failed. People got to stop using those same formulas. Just because it worked on a certain game, it doesn't mean it's gonna work on every game. I mean, I don't know which part of this is so difficult for these developers to understand. Change the formula, okay? We're not making Far Cry. We're not making Far Cry. We're not making, The Day Before. We're not making Division. We're not making Tom Clancy game. We're making a Avatar based on a big blockbuster, big budget movie. Let's stick to cinematics. Let's stick to this world of Pandora. Let's make it third person. Let's make it engaging. Let's make it interesting, dramatic, and beautiful. Instead, here we are. Far Cry. Far Cry Avatar. And I was afraid of that. When I heard that Ubisoft is doing it, I was like, And again, I like Ubisoft, but even their Assassin's Creed games, it's the same formulas, man. They have to, even with the Mirage, it's the same formula, the same thing. It's almost like Ubisoft is just milking it. Stop milking it, man. Stop milking it and start innovating. Get rid of that old engine, get rid of that old formula, work on a new engine, work on a new formula, start 2024 fresh. And that's all I want to say. It's not a bad game, but it's a disappointment. It could have been a hell of a lot better. It could have been so much, much more. That's all I'm saying.